Okay, this is an explanation of the time value of money. This is not on your test. The money and banking class is not computational. However, it is in your textbook, and sometimes it's helpful to understand. But I don't require you to use this financial calculator. If you took business analysis with algebra, you would have purchased this calculator. So I'm going to use it in this example that's in our textbook. So it talks about compounding interest. So the key to interest is that if it compounds, it means that the interest is left in there, and then your interest then in turns and builds more interest. So depending on how long you leave it there, you'll earn more and more interest. So this first example is saying if you start with $1,000, so if someone lends you $1,000 for 1 year, and they're going to charge you interest on that loan, this is kind of just our basic simple interest formula there, which is your interest divided by your principal. Again, because your time is just 1 year, so that doesn't factor into it. So then that part is fairly simple. Now let's see if I go down. When we go down, it's saying, okay, well, what about in year 2? So again, it's still just another year of interest. So now your balance then goes up to $1,100, and you're still paying the 10%. So this 1.1 is just saying you still owe 100% of what you borrowed, and then plus a 10% return on interest. So you could also say, well, if I had $1,100 and I'm paying 10% interest, it's going to be another $110 added to my loan balance. So it was $100 in year 1, my balance went up, which made then my interest amount go up, so I'm up to $1,210. Then if I continue that for year 3, again, I'm going to pay another 10% of that. So that's $121, and I add that to my balance of $1,210. You can see I go up to this. So you don't necessarily have to do it as complex as the book is showing you. You can just kind of just keep that rolling total going to say, okay, when my balance goes up to this, I owe another 10%, so I'm going to calculate that, and it's going to create this new balance. Now, when we get to our time value of money computations, those, again, I'm going to show you how to do it on the calculator. Again, you do not have to do it for your test, but just to help you to understand. So like right here, this example, a relative leaves you $15,000 and you decide to save it. So you put it into a government bond, and they're going to pay you 4% a year on your money for the next 10 years. So again, this would be the mathematical formula that you could use, but if you have your time value of money calculator, your financial calculator, you can say, okay, 10 is my end, that's how long I'm saving. My interest rate is the 4% that the bank is giving me on these bonds, or the government's giving me on these bonds, so that's my IY. 15,000 is the amount that I started with, so that's my present value. I'm not adding anything to it, so I'm going to zero out that payment and then compute my future value. So then you can see I get the same answer as they get. So you don't have to do it on your test. You may have it in your homework, but if you have your financial calculator back from business analysis with algebra, you can use that. Then this next one says, well, what if we go for 30 years? So now I'm going to make my end 30. And now what if my interest rate is 6%? My present value is still the same 15,000 I started with. I'm still not adding anything, and I compute that future value. And then you can see you go up to that. So that's kind of the key to it, is that, so you're going to have to read any of these examples. Now here we get into loans. So it says, say you borrow $20,000 to buy a new car, and the loan is for 50 months at 9% annual interest rate. What would we calculate out the future value to be? So again, when I'm using my calculator, we'd have 50 monthly payments. That would be our N. The annual interest rate, I too would take that and divide it by 12 to get it into a monthly rate, which is what they have done here. And then I'm going to put it into my IY. Now my calculator knows it's a percentage, so I don't have to have all those decimals. The $20,000 is what I borrowed today. No payments, and then we compute the future value. So then that would be as if we paid the $29,059 for that car or that loan after we factor in the interest. All right, so then that pretty much covers it. So again, if you want to use your calculator to do that or use the textbook, you know, that's fine. This gives you just some general review, but that would really be all you have to understand. Again, big picture understanding of the time value money computations in chapter 2.